of strategic ingenuities of the NNPC is to develop smaller scalable refineries which runs on condensate and strategically located. The front end and back end of derivables from this initiative has to do with importation, elimination, energy security, increasing gas supply to power plants, and a whole lot more. That's what the package is all about, and high time for NNPC management and board of directors to harmonize and sift through to see which strategic efforts have proven more productive going forward. It's very close to what PPMC is doing to ease things at the downstream, which you will get to know. Something happened to LPG in Q2 of 2018. Plus, reward and award for excellence is all about give and take, anchored on excellence. A story this week about NNPC doing this is on the bill. Welcome to the stakeholdership. My name is Akin Agbejule. This is on Gas Forum.
For us to have a visionary GMD who is forward-looking and saying, let us do something about it early enough, reflects that we have the right man doing the right job.
Highlights: NNPC unveils plans for condensate refineries. Many ideas and strategies have been deployed to secure energy sufficiency, but which ones are best? It's discernment time for this selection exercise. Commitment to excellence by the NNPC reiterated as Alamin Bashir Bugaje is off to London. What's that all about in the details? Plus, ease comes to downstream. Mr. Umar Ajia is on the forum this week.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has unveiled an initiative to develop two smaller, scalable refineries that run strictly on condensate. Natural gas condensate is a low-density mixture of hydrocarbon liquids that are present as gaseous components in the raw natural gas produced from natural gas fields. NNPC Group Managing Director Dr. Mekente Baru made the disclosure at the bid opening for the provision of consultancy services to carry out a feasibility study for the refineries, saying that the establishment of the green refineries was part of the strategies to eliminate importation of petroleum products and guarantee energy security for the country. Dr. Baru said that the condensate refineries with 200,000 barrels per day refining capacity will be located at Western Forcados area and Asa North or Haji South Ano areas of Delta and Imo State respectively. He affirmed that when fully operational, the refineries would increase gas supply to power plants in parts of the country.
The condensate refineries are going to be fully on a commercial basis. We are going to get partners that will invest, and our intent today is not to take everything. We are willing to get partners to be with us like in the Nigerian LNG, where we could just get a majority share but not a controlling share.
This model, he said, would allow the private sector to have the confidence to drive the plants and ensure that the bureaucracy that is involved in government business is out of it.
These are all in line with the overall objectives of government. Now government is looking at the growing of the economy to 7% GDP by 2020, and our target is to ensure that there is sufficient energy, sufficient fuel available to drive this growth in the economy.
In his presentation entitled Unveiling NNPC Condensate Refinery Strategy, the Group General Manager, Corporate Planning and Strategy, Mr. Bala Wunti, said the move was a strategic step that would preserve the NNPC market share at the upstream, midstream and downstream sectors of the nation's hydrocarbon value chain. He added that the bid opening was a history-making opportunity that was geared towards securing the future of the corporation.
The strategic step that GMD is taking today is a further commendable demonstration of NNPC current management to key into the overarching government objective as articulated under the ISFE and cascaded under the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, ERGP.
On his part, the manager, supply chain management of the NNPC, Engineer Sandy Hemen, said the public bid opening was sequel to the 2007 provisions of the Public Procurement Act.
The process we'll go through is very, very simple and is in compliance with the requirement of the Public Procurement Act 2007.
The high point of the event was the unveiling of the bids by Dr. Baru in the presence of the bidding companies, Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative (NEITI), and other non-governmental organizations, NGOs.
The management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and its board of directors have fine-tuned strategic measures to ensure energy sufficiency for the country. Group Managing Director of the corporation, Dr. Mekanti Baru, disclosed this at a two-day workshop organized for the NNPC management and its board members in Lagos recently. Dr. Baru said part of the retreat's outcome was to ensure that the two bodies operate on the same page on the modus operandi of the NNPC and how best the corporation can meet its goals in today's changing world.
The board of the NNPC also needs to have a balanced work-life relationship, and part of the programs we have for the board to train and bring in more cohesion, we thought we should use the opportunity also to get the board members appreciate the need for exercises, because exercising the body will also exercise the mind, and what we require is the maximum output from everybody, be it the staff or the board members.
He explained that it was imperative for the NNPC to run its business according to international best practices, stressing that members of the board who have a vital role to play must be well informed in order for them to appreciate their responsibilities to the corporation. The NNPC hemsman noted that the primary function of the board is to ensure proper compliance with governance principles in all aspects of its business. The GMD disclosed that the program would be extended to all the boards of the corporation's subsidiaries for it to have maximum effect on NNPC's activities. Apart from the lectures that were delivered by resource persons, physical exercises were also organized to keep the participants fit.
The Petroleum Products Marketing Company (PPMC), a downstream subsidiary of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), has rolled out pragmatic measures capable of ensuring ease of access to petroleum products by marketers. Managing Director of the PPMC, Mr. Umar Ajia, stated this in an interview with the Oil and Gas Forum crew in Abuja, that the initiative aligned with the federal government's Economic Recovery and Growth Plan (ERGP). He said the ease of doing business approach adopted by the PPMC had made it possible for marketers to prefer the company above other downstream companies that are involved in petroleum products marketing and distribution.
The PPMC now, whilst trying to satisfy the national demand of product distribution in country, it also is doing it at a profit, though minimal margin, but at least that ensures that there is some margin made to cover our running costs as well as contribute to the share of the corporate center costs. And ultimately the aim is to try to also declare a dividend one day in the shortest possible time to the shareholders.
Mr. Ajia said the PPMC had been repositioned and automated to enable it take advantage of the opportunities jamming to its operation.
ATK, be it AGO, any other product that is viable when you import and you make money, that's what we are doing in PPMC now. So we take opportunities where we foresee shortage of a particular product in the market in the coming months. Then we contract our Duke Oil to import.
He said the PPMC would continue to treat its customers as kings, adding that the company was currently deploying technology to respond to market dynamics in order to remain a going concern. Mr. Ajah speaks more on steps being taken to improve the operational efficiency of the PPMC.
We have accomplished a number of milestones. We have a logo that is developed. We are a big player in this market in terms of the biggest turnover company in Nigeria. And consequently, that should reflect in terms of our profitability. But most importantly, for us to succeed, we must ensure that technology is fully utilized in terms of our deployment of and implementation of Sept, automation of sales processes, as well as the need to increase operational efficiency and respond to market changes as and when they occur.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has reiterated its commitment towards rewarding excellence by providing opportunities which will help to develop top-class talents for the benefits of the country. Group Managing Director of the corporation, Dr. Mekanti Baru, made the disclosure during a brief send-forth ceremony for Al-Amin Bashir Bugaje, the overall best graduate of Ahmadu Bello University ABU Zaria, who was sponsored by the corporation to study for master's and doctorate programs at the prestigious Imperial College London, United Kingdom. NNPC has more than 60 scholars in tertiary institutions across the globe. Last year alone, under the auspices of its flagship corporate social responsibility initiative, NNPC National Science Quiz Competition, the corporation granted 18 scholarship awards to winners that emerged from the year contest. In November last year, Al-Amin, who was of the university's Faculty of Engineering, bagged an NNPC special scholarship to study for masters through to his PhD after he bagged first class with a final cumulative grade point average CGPA of 4.93 to emerge as the overall best student of the university last year. While congratulating Al-Amin for his excellent academic achievements at the ABU, Dr. Barrow tasked him to live up to the expectations of the corporation by remaining the best among the best. He also charged the young NNPC scholar to strive hard to complete both programs below record time. He also enjoined him to redouble his efforts, remain steadfast, aim for excellence, and most importantly, be a good ambassador of the NNPC by upholding the corporation's core values of integrity, commitment, and excellence always.
The whole essence is to continue with what NNPC is all about. We thrive on excellence. And when we send excellent students, we want our banner to go with him, to also continue that championing as an NNPC scholar, to display that excellence in whatever he's doing. We expect that when he goes, he will perform excellently well.
Dr. Barrow seized the opportunity of the event to call on all NNPC scholarship beneficiaries to remain steadfast, saying the corporation was proud of their accomplishment. Responding, Al-Amin expressed gratitude to God and to the NNPC for the wonderful opportunity to compete with the best brains in the world.
The promise is, to the best of my ability, I will try to bring back excellence, to be excellent, operate at that level, get the technical know-how, then come back with that excellence that that put me on this pedestal in the first place, and then carry on with it.
He called on other students in Nigerian universities to always work hard, go for what they love, and never ever compromise when it comes to excellence. Describing the NNPC under the GMD as very professional and effective, Al-Amin specifically reserved kind words for the Group Public Affairs Division GPAD, which handled the scholarship payment as well as the interface with the school in the UK in the most professional and timely manner.
My interaction with the Public Affairs Division through the payment of the scholarship, how they followed up with the school, the communication, it was timely, it was effective, it was efficient, it was professional, And honestly, it was top-notch. I really, sincerely, I didn't believe a Nigerian institution was able to operate at this level.
The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, said 165.71 million liters of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, was imported into the country in the second quarter this year. The NBS disclosed this in its petroleum products importation and consumption trackout of LPG in quarter 2 of 2018. According to the report, in April, the LPG imported into the country stood at 59.89 million liters. It said 55.37 million liters was imported in May, while the lowest volume of 50.45 million liters was imported in June. According to the Bureau, the statewide distribution of truck-out volume for the second quarter showed that 105.49 million of LPG was distributed nationwide during the period under review.
Hello and welcome to the feedback segment of the program. My name is Julia Auta. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, is a state oil giant with different subsidiaries under its watch that come in different acronyms such as PHRC, WRPC, and KRPC, to mention but a few. This week, our camera is on some major cities in Nigeria to find out the full meanings of PHRC, WRPC, and KRPC.
PHRC, Port Harcourt Refining and Petrochemical Company Limited.
Port Harcourt Refining Company.
WRPC.
WRPC. That should be Warri Refining Company.
WRPC.
I don't think I can.
WRPC is in Warri now.
No more worry now. But
Warri.
where did the guy last now?
Not the Kaila, so tell us that
The full meaning of PHRC is Port Harcourt Refining and Petrochemical Company Limited.
What about WRPC?
I don't know that one.
What about KRPC?
No, man.
PHRC means Power Holding Company, Nigeria.
What about WRPC?
Means Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company.
PHRC is Port Harcourt Refinery Company.
And WRPC?
Is also Warri Refineries Petroleum Company also.
And KRPC?
That one is Kaduna Refineries Company.
Port Harcourt Refining Petrochemical Limited.
What about WRPC?
Warri Petrochemical, is it Nigeria Limited?
And KRPC?
That's Kaduna Refining Petrochemical Limited.
PHRC?
PHRC, Port Harcourt Refining
It stands for Warri Refinery Petroleum Corporation or Company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then KRPC?
Kaduna as well. Kaduna Refinery Petroleum Commission or
Port Harcourt Refinery Company.
What about WRPC?
WRPC. Would it be Warri Refinery Petroleum Company or something like that?
PHRC is Port Harcourt Refining Company Limited. WRPC is Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company Limited. And KRPC is Kaduna Refining and Petrochemical Company Limited. And that's about the size time we'll allow on this segment. Please stay tuned for the rest of the program.
NNPC, we touch your lives in many positive ways.
Hello, glad to have you join us on this segment of the program. I am Abigail Ojobo. Did you know that on 17 February 1958, the first cargo of Nigeria's crude oil was exported through SSHE Mephusis? Did you know that the sole concession rights granted to Shell was reviewed in 1959 and exploration rights were then granted to other companies? With the successful entry of new oil and gas players, the country's daily crude oil production at the dawn of independence stood at 17,000 barrels, 3 times the original production level in 1958. Did you also know that Nigeria's crude oil production received further boost with the advent of offshore production in 1964 on the Okan offshore field in the then Midwestern region, now Edo and Delta states? Did you know that in 1965, the first refinery was built in Port Harcourt by Shell with an initial capacity of 38,000 barrels per day, which was later debottlenecked to 60,000 barrels per day? Now you know. Please stay tuned for the rest of the program.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil prices rose Thursday, extending solid gains from the previous session on a fall in U.S. crude inventories and expected disruptions to supply from Iran and Venezuela. Brent crude oil futures were at $77.40 per barrel, up 26 cents or 0.3% from their last close. U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures were up 32 cents or 0.5% at $69.83 per barrel. Brent crude has risen by more than 9% since August 15 and on Thursday reached its highest since July 11 at $77.48 per barrel. WTI has climbed more than 7% over the same period. U.S. commercial crude inventories fell by 2.6 million barrels in the week to August 24 to 405.79 million barrels. U.S. production was flat from the previous week's record of 11 million barrels per day. Analysts believe that oil prices rose on the back of an unexpected U.S. inventory draw, the second week in a row of declines, together with gasoline demand reaching a record high. They observe that the looming sanctions against Iran are beginning to impact oil supply, lifting crude prices. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, of which Iran is the third biggest producer, will discuss in December whether it can compensate for a sudden drop in Iranian oil supply after U.S. sanctions against Tehran starts in November. The head of Iraq's state oil marketer, Somo Alal al-Yassiri, said Wednesday. Iran's August crude oil exports will likely drop to just over 2 million barrels per day versus a peak of 3.1 million barrels per day in April as importers bow to American pressure to cut orders. The International Energy Agency IEA warned of a tightening market towards the end of the year due to a combination of falling supply in countries such as Iran and also Venezuela and strong demand, especially in Asia. And that's about the size of crude oil outlook on this edition of the program. I am Solomon Yopave.
This work indeed has made a very good impact in my life, and honestly I'm grateful to KRPC and NNPC at large. And then I want to give a message, I want to send a message. They should go and do more impact.
Well, that's been all on Gas Forum for this week. Thanks for joining us. Hope your weekend was good. Your week will be even better. Join us next week. Bye.